In recent weeks I've completely changed all my camera gear over to OM systems, and I'm specifically using the OM1 Mark II for my landscape photography and also my wildlife photography. And if you've watched some of my recent videos, you'll know that I got a lens with my camera. That was the 12 to 40mm F2.8. I've also purchased a lens more specifically for wildlife, which I've covered in a recent video, but there's a gap in my lens lineup. I need something with a longer focal length for my landscape photography. It suits the style, some of the images that I like to take. So in this video, I'm out for the first time with my new lens, which has been bought for landscape photography. I'm going to try it, test it out, hopefully get some new photographs, some good ones. And yeah, I'll talk about which lens I've bought and why. My name is Wayne Robertson and I'm a landscape and wildlife photographer based in Scotland. So I hope you can see this behind me. The light is quite challenging. It's just at sunrise, so this area is going to be quite dark in relation to what's going over to my right. The sun is coming up over a hill to my left, and I've just spotted this scene off in the distance. I've got some low clouds rolling over the distant hillside, and there's some autumn colour. And there's a bank which is now just getting the light, which is about just what I was about to say. I'm waiting for this bank of trees to get light, just like this. It looks really good with the light hitting those trees. First light of the day. Hopefully you can see it over there. Sun's coming up, just hitting that right hand side. We've got all that beautiful low cloud sweeping across. So that's the first image with a new lens, and yeah, one that I think I'll hopefully be quite happy with. So when it came to me looking to get a longer focal length lens for my landscape photography, there was a lot of choice available from OM systems. But for me specifically, I had the 12 to 40mm lens, the F2.8 as I mentioned earlier. So I was really looking at the 240 to 150mm lenses available that would work on my OM1 Mark II. One of them is an F2.8, one of them is an F4. So that was the consideration I had to make. Which of those two lenses would I go for? One slightly bigger, slightly heavier, offering f2.8 aperture, and the other smaller, lighter, but an f4 lens. So that was the choice I had to make. So when it came to deciding between the f2.8 lens and the f4, it's not a decision that I wanted to make lightly, but there was a few things I had to keep in mind which really helped cement my decision. One is that the lens was primarily for my landscape photography. 99 to 100% of its use, it was really being bought for landscape photography. And the other thing is that one of the main driving factors for me moving to the OM1 Mark II was to try and reduce the overall weight of my kit. So I began to think, would I use f2.8 for landscape photography? I certainly would, but I don't think it's essential. I would only use it at very select times. It's not a major essential feature of a lens for my landscape photography. You may vary, of course. The other thing is that because I do wildlife photography, I could have used that lens for wildlife photography, and I certainly would have used it at times. However, probably not enough to say it's essential to have it. It would make a massive difference to my wildlife photography. If you look back at some of my older videos, you'll see the lens that I've purchased for wildlife photography, and I'm certainly going to use that the majority of the time. Possibly supplement it with another lens in the future, but I have a lens that meets my needs at the moment. So I thought, would I get the benefit of that f2.8 aperture? Very seldom. However, if I went for the lighter f4 lens, every time I'm out doing landscape photography, I'm going to benefit from the smaller size and also the lighter weight. So every time I'm out, I'm going to benefit from that lens. So I did a bit of research. I can't test the lens, I didn't have both of them to test together, but all research showed the image quality is just as good on the f4 lens. A few people said they switched to it to save some weight. They previously had the f2.8 and they thought it was sharper. I can't verify that claims, but I certainly think it's a wash anyway. I would see no real image quality difference between the two lenses, and if I did, it wouldn't make any difference to my images. So I've went for the lighter, smaller f4 lens. Quite a unique feature of this lens is that it's got an extending barrel, so before you can use the lens you've got to extend it. So I've got my lens hood on at the moment, but before I actually go to use it, I've got to twist the barrel. It's now at 40 millimeters, ready to use. And if I zoom in all the way to 150, that's all taking place inside the lens. The lens doesn't extend any further. So quite a nice feature actually. That difference when it's fully retracted can make the difference for storage in your camera bag, for example. So I can store this lens vertically, and when I flap shut my bag, there's still enough room for the bag to shut quite comfortably. But if the lens had been longer, I would have probably had to store it horizontally in my bag, taking up more space. So I quite like that feature. Things are looking up. I'm going to grab this shot here quickly. A brief intermission to this video because I'd like to mention something which may be of interest to a few of you watching. OM System are going to be running a winter cashback, and that is going to run from 13th of November this year 2025 through to 6th of January 2026. So if you've been interested in purchasing some OM System gear, this is a great opportunity to potentially save yourself a few £100s. For example, the OM1 Mark II camera that I use myself will be part of this winter cashback, and there is a great opportunity to save a few £100 on that item. There will be some lenses available too at great discount, perhaps some other items as well. So for all the details, I'll have a link in the description. It will be an affiliate link, but that will take you to the relevant page where you can find out all the information that you need to know. So why am I choosing to mention the winter cashback in this video? Well, there are two reasons basically. I want to stress I'm not being paid, and it was my own idea to mention it in this video. There are two reasons. The first is that I bought with my own money an OM system camera a few months ago now, and you can find out all about that in a previous video on my YouTube channel. And I bought a lens and I tested it out, and I was convinced it was the correct camera for me and my needs as a landscape and wildlife photographer. Since then I've bought another 2 lenses. I've also bought some OM system accessories. All of these have been bought with my own money at normal prices. I've not received any discount whatsoever. And I just love the gear. I think it's helping me produce high quality images. I love the lightweight, compact nature of the whole system. That's something I've been talking about in this video. And also it's weather sealed. It's perfect for me as an outdoor photographer. It's just a match made in heaven in some ways. I also think the lenses are fantastic. I've been really pleased with all the 3 lenses that I've bought, and I just think it's a fantastic camera system, so I have no problem recommending it. That's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is that in some of my previous videos, a lot of people have been leaving comments, and I know there are many viewers who use OM system gear. Perhaps you watching have an OM system camera body and a few lenses or 1 lens, whatever, and you've been thinking about purchasing some additional OM system gear. If I can alert you to this cashback offer and you can save yourself quite a few £100, quite a substantial amount of money, I'm really pleased to do that. I think that's of benefit to you. So yeah, I'm more than happy to mention it in this video. So if you're interested, the link's in the description below. But for now, back to the main video. Really beautiful scene behind me here. And I have to be honest, and I always like to be honest about my photography, I've been struggling, not because of my camera gear, not because of me, but even though I was out before sunrise today and we're touching November, the sun, once it got above the surrounding hills and mountains, it became incredibly bright. There's a lot of cloud cover you may see in the video in this direction, but over here and to my right, there's been next to no clouds at all the whole morning so far. So the sun got up quite quickly above the hill line. It became incredibly bright, and there's been a lot of things I think could have made potentially nice photographs, but I couldn't see for the sun. I was shielding my eyes for the sun, so bright I couldn't even look, and even when I did that it was casting a glare in the water, so I couldn't shield everything. I could not even look in the direction that I wanted to, so I think I've missed quite a few opportunities for nice photographs. However, these clouds behind me now have just came in, and the sun is side lighting this scene, so we've got a lot of nice light. I quite like the light airy look of this grass, and there's a bits of shadow as well, and because it's being side lit we're seeing a lot of the texture. And then off in the distance, sort of my mid-ground, we've got a nice strip of trees with some autumn colour getting the light, and then we've got that dark moody mountains off in the distance and a lot of nice cloud cover. So yeah, quite pleased with that. It was looking like I may have only captured 1 image today, but yeah, things are looking up quite nicely off in this direction. So there's two trees in front of me here, and the one on the left caught my interest because there was a crow on it and it was quite cooperative. It was here for a couple of minutes, and as you can see, you maybe catch just off to the right, there's a little bit of cloud, but all to my left and as far as I can see above, it's just blue sky everywhere. However, it's got a little bit of potential, this, considering the type of day it is, and I'm really keen to try and take shots with this lens, the 40 to 150mm f4. I'm really enjoying just walking around handheld, taking shots, and it's little moments like that where a crow just lands, or you spot a bird in a tree and you just think that's an interesting photograph. If you're able to walk around with your gear handheld and ready, that's when you can get little shots like this. But it's quite a nice, interesting scene. The tree's not quite at 45 degrees, perhaps 30 degrees. And just above this nearest ridge line, I can see a lot of tree roots. So it's kind of clinging on for its life, you could say. I do hope it's around for a few years yet. There's an interesting foreground as well, with some of these rocks. So quite challenging sky, quite challenging light, but the fact there was the crow on there and I'm able to just grab shots handheld, I certainly think it was worth taking. What I'd like to do now is head on and enjoy the rest of the walk. It's quite bright, but there may be more photographic opportunities depending on what the light does, what I see and so on. I'm also potentially going to be out with this lens over the next couple of days. So if I capture any more images today or in the next couple of days, I'll show you those now. What I'd like to do at the end of this video is just give a little summary on my thoughts based on my shooting experience today with this lens here, the 40 to 150mm f4. So I touched earlier on its lightweight and its compact design. I really do appreciate how you can retract the barrel and I can fit it in nicely vertically into my camera bag, taking up less space. So I really do like that. And it's been really liberating and enjoyable to walk around handheld and just concentrate on my photography and take images without use of a tripod. I do think a tripod's an essential part of a landscape photographer's kit if you're someone that likes to do long exposures, and it can be of benefit in all sorts of situations. But there's many times that it's probably the best choice actually just to shoot handheld, and I really think this lens is just perfectly made to allow me to do that. In terms of image quality, I have not at this stage seen the images on my computer, but I don't suspect there'll be any surprise. I think I'm going to be really pleased with them. I'll just put a little bit of text in this video as I edit it, just to let you know what I think once I've seen the images. But I hope you've enjoyed watching, perhaps learned something for your own photography, or maybe hearing my thoughts on this lens will help you if you're considering a purchase. I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch. Thank you so much for that. And I do hope you'll join me in my next video.